early days. I don't know if any of you remember the iceberg ad from Newfoundland, Whales and Bergs, but my previous life, I was a director. So I actually got to do a lot of tourism directing. At one point, we did a 28-day film shoot in Newfoundland to build a bunch of purpose-specific videos on hunting and fishing, on outdoor adventure. And it was quite an opportunity to see another part of the world. I am from PEI originally, but I have a home in Dartmouth. So we're a homegrown solution and a lot of experience in tourism. And that led me into a position or a concept of building a platform that could take what I knew how to do and what my team knew how to do and kind of bring it down to a small business level. So today I'm going to share my screen and we're just going to go on a spin through what's going on in the world. One of the things I often say is tourism never stopped, travel stopped, but you think about it, the seasons come, the seasons go, you look out your window, you see beautiful things. And I think through digital engagement, we can keep those relationships alive and people's interest and desire in visiting alive through digital engagement, through actually doing outreach when things are happening in and around the Nova Scotia and Atlantic Canada in general. So I'm going to share my screen now and we'll go for a little tour of what Lisa said is a practical experience of what could be done. Okay. I can't share my screen. That's interesting.
Just one second, Mike. I apologize, folks. This isn't our meeting, so I'm going to make you host, Mike, and then you should be good.
Okay, thank you.
There you go.
All right, let's try sharing that again. Yeah, it looks like it worked. That looks like it worked. Are you seeing my screen okay? Are you seeing that, Melissa?
Yes.
Okay, great. So today's webinar is really about how do you have some just on the ground guerrilla type tools to help you communicate with people who've been past visitors and people who know your product a bit and those who've never experienced it. And, you know, they say it takes 10 times as much effort to find a new client as it does to maintain an existing client. So there's an emphasis in our presentation about timely and engagement both through email outreach and also through social media outreach. So we're a small company. As I mentioned, we're all about digital engagement. Since COVID hit, our phone has been ringing off the hook, metaphorically, but we've been very, very busy and we've been able to work with a number of government programs such as Digital Nova Scotia to help small businesses get up and going and really take ownership of their digital marketing, digital engagement. So what we are is a platform, a software platform that allows for rapid and easy customization of both the look and feel. So each client has their own look and feel. And then what you put in each campaign website. So this is actually our product we're using to present this webinar, which shows you get kind of the diversity of it. But once you build these websites, you're able to send them on a mission and then track and measure everything that happens. So the platform itself is a library system. When I worked in my previous life at an agency, it seems like every time somebody left, we'd lose knowledge. So a library that allows you to keep track of your assets, whether they're videos or pictures, doesn't matter. Anything that can be digitized can be in your library. And you use those assets and other things on the World Wide Web to build websites, little campaign websites, often leveraging off of what you may already have created in your public website, but specific to what you want to get out there. It could be a promotion coming up, it could be an event, but it's all about trying to push something out that's meaningful and not overbuilt, just enough. They can be sent by email, as I mentioned. And when you send it by email, you're able to track and measure everything that happens, as well as when you post a version. So I could post this right now to my Twitter feed, and I would know who, but I would know how many people looked at it and where they were on Earth. And as you're seeing, I'm presenting with our product here. And when you're able to really see things at that level, you're able to have a better understanding of what's working and what isn't. So for instance, here we can see by person or by campaign, what did Jim click on? What did he look at? How long did he spend? Where the heck is he on Earth? Did he click on any links? So it's kind of like a very grassroots up way of really trying to be more engaging and better relevant to the audience you're speaking to. So the whole idea of what do you need? How much is enough? So websites absolutely need to be mobile friendly. They absolutely have to be optimized and mobile friendly. And in our case, we kind of built a lot of this into the software. So you don't have to do a whole lot of adjustments in the back end yourself. You can just build something that you like, and it already knows how to configure itself based on the devices being seen on. Clearly, email outreach, if people come and stayed with you, if they've reached out to you for information, they're interested. So you want to keep those people warm. You want to keep them close of mind. As I said, tourism never stopped, travel stopped. So you want them to be thinking of you and your operations as they come back on stream and are able to travel again. Melissa's going to talk in more detail about social media. We've done a lot of work through Digital Nova Scotia with companies just to help them get out the gate, like not to build overbuild anything, but to get out there and understand, what's a good campaign in social media? How often do you hit people? What do you say? And we'll go into that a bit today too. And as I said, tourism never stops. So being able to use vehicles like ours and others, and we will show you some others as well, just to keep present of mind. You want to stay top of mind. And also you want to basically improve your reputation. The more you push out, the more you communicate, the algorithms that drive a lot of the social media they get to know you, so to speak. So today we're going to really focus on how much is enough. How much is enough to really get out there as a small, medium business or association and really start to create forward momentum. And as they say, a rising tide floats all ships. So on one of the things we're going to do today, I'm glad that Martin is here because he's agreed to be our guinea pig. So I'm going to actually go into the back end. I'm not going to blow your minds on this, but I'm going to go in the back end and I want to show you something that we're going to do. So today, this is the back end of the website we were just looking at. Those are the sections I'm going through and all that. But we're actually going to create another section, and we're going to call that section because Upper Clement Cottages and RV Park is a long word. So we're going to create a new section. And while I'm presenting, Melissa's going to go in and actually build out a section that we'll come back to at the end, just to show you how nimble it is. You'll get a sense that you can come in and you can start laying out content and creating a grid system and adding content into it super fast. So we'll come back and revisit that one at the end of the presentation. So when you're looking for digital engagement software, and there's a lot out there, and one of the big problems is people have multiple systems. So what you might use for email blasting, like a Constant Contact or a MailChimp, doesn't really talk to your website. Our platform can be all those things. So when you're looking at acquiring a piece of tech that's going to best suit your needs, these are the criteria that have we actually went through and did some research on marketing. And these are the things people are looking for. Clearly, ease of use, monstrous. You all have day jobs, you all have your expertise in tourism. And now all of a sudden someone's throwing this idea that, hey, I've got to become a marketer. So the idea of being able to use one platform for multiple things and it's easy is a very, very desirable thing. Cost, obviously, there's less money around than there's ever been, and we're building back from the pandemic. So being able to pick a platform that does multiple things and is cost effective, usually important. Customization, analytics, by seeing what worked and what didn't work, you really should be able to refine and have a path of constant improvement. And automation is important. So these are the things that in the survey are the important decision factors. And I'm happy to say we score very well in all these categories. We're small, so people don't know about us, but I'll show you some examples that show you some people who actually did find us in the back end. So I'm just going to pop out of this, Melissa, so you can do your voodoo on our section. And
fantastic, thank you.
We'll catch you on the other side after you do your social media part. So that's really what you want to be looking at in terms of technical considerations. And we're going to send this out in the recording as well as the presentation. The other thing I'll mention is we decided that we're actually going to do a giveaway. We're going to actually give away a Winstorm. And in the last section here, you see contact us. We're going to give a 1-year subscription away to somebody on this webinar series. And we're going to support it. We're going to help you set it up, and you can take it for a spin for free. So that's kind of fun. And we've been doing a lot of these small projects with Digital Nova Scotia. We also do work with NSBI. There is a stream for digital adoption that we'll make you aware of if you contact us afterwards. And they'll offer up to, I think, $30,000 of shared 50-50 shared cost to really up your digital engagement game. So we didn't even know about it until we reached out to them on our own behalf, and they said, "Oh wow, we got this program. You guys should be tapping into it," and so too should other Nova Scotia companies as they kind of power out of the whole COVID system. So we had a little look at the platform. As I mentioned, social media is huge, and it's some sort of a dragon, and also it's a bit of mystical. So to unravel some of the mystery of social media, I'm going to turn it over to Melissa. And I'll be your Vanna White.
Oh, okay, that would be fantastic. Okay, so we all know that social media is important to your business. And I suppose I should turn my camera on so that everybody can see my face. It's become a lot more important in the last 2 years. And a lot of people are, you're busy running your business. I mean, who has time to sit there and scroll through Instagram, all day? And most people don't have the wherewithal or the want to hire somebody to take care of just their social media. So one thing that we have discovered over the last little while working with a lot of small to medium-sized businesses is some social media best practices. And I'm also going to show you a couple of quick, easy ways to streamline your social media so that you're not spending all day, every day, working in your social media. The biggest thing is finding your audience. So where does your target market hang out online? If your target market is retired couples, you're probably not going to find them on TikTok. You're going to find them on Facebook. So you need to figure out where they're hanging out. And you'll hear me harp on this a couple of times. Research is your friend when it comes to your social media, because things change so much, so quickly, and without any warning. I would strongly suggest that at least once a quarter, you're going in and doing some basic research on your social media and what has changed, what has upgraded, that sort of thing. The one thing that changes constantly is hashtags. So one good way to do this is to go and see what your competition is using and see if it's working for them. See if they're using the right hashtags. For instance, you're not going to use a hashtag that has to do with downtown Halifax if you're in Yarmouth. But one hashtag that has become very, very popular over the pandemic is the hashtag shop local. This is one that I suggest that everybody use because, again, travel has stopped. Well, not stopped, but it's certainly tightened. And I know that a lot of people in tourism are trying to get more local business into their establishments. So the hashtag shop local is extremely popular, gets literally millions of hits per day. And it is one you should be using in your social media. One thing that I see a lot of people doing that's not good is what's called hashtag dumping, where they will have more hashtags than they will actual text in their post. And that will literally pull you out of the algorithm. You shouldn't use any more than 4 to 5 hashtags per post. So you use the 3 top ones for your industry, which again, a little bit of research goes a long way. I usually say 3, 4, including the shop local, and then a floater, which would be something like if you have Valentine's Day coming up. So you find, you would hashtag Valentine's Day or hashtag date night or something like that for your specific ad campaign or holiday. But just a big block of hashtags, the algorithms do not like that. Some platforms, the bots see that and they will not read any of it. So 3 to 5 on the very outside. Another thing I see is people using their company name as a hashtag. This actually does not work unless you are running an ad campaign to get people to follow that hashtag, because people have to follow hashtags. That's how they, oops, I lost you, Mike. Can you bring my screen back up, please? I am not sure if he's hearing me. You know what? I will just share my screen. Bear with me one moment. Sorry about that. Oh, we got him back. Okay, perfect. So it can take years for a custom hashtag to become viable. That's not to say that it won't, but it does take a lot of effort to make it happen. Again, you would have to run specific ad campaigns, follow this hashtag for more information on whatever. And it does. If you're not spending a whole lot of time on your social media, if it's just hey, I need to do this, so I'm going to do this, I would strongly suggest not taking your time on trying to create an ad campaign for a customized hashtag. The one thing I've noticed a change in social media is people want to see your story. They want to see that you're real. Back in the day, it used to be just like, okay, I'm a business, so I'm going to be hyper professional and I'm only going to talk about my business and I'm going to be a little bit aloof and untouchable to people who are coming to my website or to my social media. That doesn't seem to fly anymore. People want to see a picture of your dog. I mean, we all know cats rule the internet, and people want to get to know you as the business owner. They want to get to know you because if they're going to spend their money at your establishment in a time when people are, having issues because they're being laid off because of COVID and everything else, you have to give them that little bit of an extra push. Is, hey, come stay with us or come visit my restaurant because I'm a real person and I can be your friend. And that kind of segues into another thing that we have seen is people not actually engaging on reviews or comments on their social media. It's like I'd say to people, it's called social media for a reason. People want to hear from you. They want to know that you care about what they have to say, and they want to get to know you. So taking the time to respond personally, not maybe necessarily yourself, somebody on your staff or whatever, to comments on your Google page or comments on your Facebook or Twitter accounts goes a really, really long way. And again, just posting like ad style posts, you're not giving that personal touch. Yes, the ad style posts are very important because you want people to know events that you're running, or you want to have your menu up there or your pricing or whatever, but also a little more personal, like you know, this is the inside of my restaurant and everybody's sitting around the bar and laughing and having a good time. More candid shots. Very, very important when it comes to social media, because people need to be able, especially now, to see themselves there. Could you scroll down, Mike, please? So we all don't want to be spending all day on Facebook. We really just don't. Streamlining your posts is a really, really good way to just get to your social media, get it done, and then forget about it. One suggestion that I have had for people is finding yourself some sort of a scheduler. Facebook does have a scheduler that you can also send to Instagram. Excuse me, because Facebook now owns Instagram. The only problem you may run into, it doesn't happen every time, is with the sizing of your graphics, because Instagram does not use the same size as Facebook does. My suggestion is always that you post separately. There are schedulers such as like Hootsuite, where you can just do it all at once, schedule everything, it will send it out. Twitter has its own, it's excellent. I use it personally. Excuse me. And this is one of those things where you can sit down once a week for an hour or so and schedule out all of your social media posts for the next week. Mike, could you scroll up just a little bit, please? So one of the things about the social media posts is graphics. Graphics rule. Videos are better. People don't want to be faced with a big wall of text. They'll just scroll right by that. If you can get yourself some nice graphics, photographs are wonderful, but doll them up a little bit. Their software, their Canva is a particularly easy to use free piece of web-based software where you can create platform specific graphics. It will give you the size you need, everything else, download it, good to go. It's very, very easy to use. There is a paid version where you just get more options. They have a lot of stock photos that do have a commercial license on them, so you can use them for wherever. But again, having pictures, videos, any kind of graphic is going to stop people and have them actually read the text, as opposed to just having a big wall of text. And then lastly, when do you post? This is the thing. And this is something, again, with a little bit of research on a very regular basis, because this changes, because of the algorithms keep changing. How often you should post to each platform is really, really important. You will get a lot more traction on Facebook if you post every day than if you're only posting once or twice a week. You're not going to show up on people's feeds because you're not putting enough content out there. So it's really important to figure out how many times per day or per week or however for each platform based on the platforms that you're using. And don't worry, we're going to send this to you. So all of the information is there. And we're also having a Q&A when this is all over. So if you have any more specific questions about social media, please feel free to ask. But right now I'm going to turn this back over to Mike. And I'm going to go build a website.
There, figured it out. Their tool is set up, their Zoom is set up differently than ours. Okay, can you hear me all right? Yes? Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes, Mike, we can hear you fine.
Thank you very
Sorry.
much.
Try to find my mute button.
Yeah, mute button is our friend. Okay, so back on, so thank you, Melissa, that was great. So that everything that Melissa said is, works no matter what you're posting. But one of the values or one of the purposes of our platform is that you can post this. I could post this to Twitter, as I said earlier, right now. I could just take it, make a link, track that link, and be able to know what happened in social media. So, but it's used for many more things than just posting to social media. So it was built mainly to help people turn marketing into sales. That was one of our taglines. But the idea truly is, how do we take the stories we want to tell, put them into a structure, and then send them on a mission? So we have clients using the platform for any combination of this. They're using it as their public website. Through Digital Nova Scotia, we've set up a number of tourism-related companies so that they have, hey, now we have a nice new website, but we can also take that website, put a new section on the front of it, like I did on the back of this one, and I can send that on a mission. I could send that out. So there's the new section we created earlier. Melissa's in frantically chopping content in there, so you guys can see how quickly it can be done. But it can be used for a whole bunch of different purposes. So what's the value of that? Well, A, it's going to cost you less money, and B, you're going to have your knowledge consolidated in one place. So you might say, I'm going to turn my website into a newsletter. So that can happen. You can simply say, okay, now it's a newsletter, and put a section on the front of it that is like the story of the day or the stories of the week, and send it out, and then track and measure what happens. We used to do a lot of work with Delta Hotels before Marriott bought them, and every one of their salesperson had access to the whole suite of Winstorm across the country. So if one of the sales representatives were talking to a meeting planner, they could put together, take a standardized template, but then put together personalized information, so it was as relevant as it could be, and it could even include the proposal that they would pull out of Amadeus or their proposal building software. We also have people using it for training and orientation. We didn't really plan this, but it just turned out that the platform is nimble enough and easy enough to use that people could just take it out and use it for any type of engagement. Specific to tourism, we've done some big stuff, we've done some little stuff. So I'll show you a couple of samples here. They're all built using the same tool, all used for Winstorm and different purposes. This is an association that uses it as both their website, and they also use it for an events. So this is actually an event registration website. And I can tell you, since COVID struck, we've been doing a lot of events for people, and they've been using our platform for virtual events all over the world. We've helped the government of Canada do events in Singapore and the Middle East, and they've been using our platform in all over. It's everywhere, but it just allows you to create these things very quickly. You can clone them. So if you're having the same event next year, you could actually just take this one and then swap out the information. This is an older one. They rolled this association into their with two of them together. So this example is a bit dated, but it really allows someone to come in here, see the event, see the agenda, see the speakers, everything in one place. And if you needed to update the information, you could do it very, very quickly yourselves. And then when people went back in, they would see the updated content. Because it's a website, you can go in and update content at any time and keep it current. This is one that's in progress right now. It's a really nice little property over in Prince Edward Island, the Barachois. And they cater to a lot of small, intimate gatherings. So this will be their website, and then a version thereof will be used for outreach and newsletters and such, so that they're keeping everybody apprised of their offering and what there is to do and experience. So that's another example that shows kind of the scalability. It can go big and go small. When Delta sold off some of their properties, they wanted to reskin, the unbranded properties still wanted to use the platform. So it was literally reskinned in I'd say less than a day, where the Delta branding went out and the new branding went in, but all the same information was still present and accounted for. and they're able to carry on, without missing a beat. On the, I mentioned we've been doing some work with Digital Nova Scotia clients. This is a really neat little story. This is an organization in Nova Scotia that does ocean kayak training. So they're actually sold out. This, I think Melissa told me last week they were sold out. And what they do is the waters off of where they've set up here are such that that it's ideal for training. So who are they getting? Yeah, they're getting tourists, but moreover, they're getting like fire departments and police forces who have to learn how to do, rescue in kayaks in an ocean environment. So neat idea, niche product. I'd like to go there myself, but they bring in a lot of business, and this is their website. But again, they're also using it as for news and outreach, all kind of in one place. Another one, a little bit off topic, but we have templates. So this is an example of a template that you can pick it up and use it, and then drop in your own content and drop in your own materials. Have buttons to e-commerce transact if you want to, and the templates just make it even faster to put things together. And then on sort of a little bit off topic, but kind of a neat one. Right now we're talking to, we do a lot of these virtual trade missions and things. So if you want to do like a virtual FAM, if you were involved in that, you can have like a profile page about your company and what it is, what your offering is. And the profile pages then can allow people to see what the offering is. And then if you're interested, we're going to shoot you right off to their website. So virtual FAM trips, we're talking to one client right now, but doing a virtual job fair. So people can't show up, but the vendors or the people looking to hire can have a profile page, all in the context of a virtual event. Very busy in the virtual event space. Also on a kind of a larger scale, we just landed a deal in 2026, America will be celebrating 250 years. And through our work, we do a lot of work in Pennsylvania. But through our work in Pennsylvania, we just landed a contract to help them promote America 250 PA. And we have the software, and we I don't say license, we offer subscriptions to the software, and you can do it all yourself, or we can do it with you, or we'll do it for you. So in this case, they want to create a whole blog, a website with a blog section. And the blog section is going to do all about telling untold stories in Pennsylvania. So we'll be actually creating the stories with them and posting them up on their website, so people can really get an understanding. And they're trying to broaden the celebration. Philadelphia, of course, is our Charlottetown and the birthplace. And they'll do a big celebration there, but there's a whole rest of the state that really is trying to be encouraged to participate and tell stories about, Jeep or Zippo lighters, or there's a lot of neat stories down there. And we're very pleased to be selected as the organization that's going to help them get those stories built and get those stories out, both to social media and through their own blog site and podcast site that we're building right into their website. So the platform is versatile, can be used for many different things, saves you some money, allows you to do what Melissa was saying, which is create momentum in posting. You could create a post that's your first section, but send the rest of your story along. And with that, you're going to hopefully get better conversion. You're going to get people going like, wow, I didn't know that was going on, or I didn't know about that part of Nova Scotia. And lo and behold, they're able to then kind of engage. It's all about engagement. So just in the interest of time, we'd like to leave some Q&A time at the end of it. So where do we stack up against the rest of the products? And for many years, it was like selling ships to a flat world, just because people didn't know they needed to do this. And then along comes good old COVID. And all of a sudden people are going like, wait a minute, I can't go to trade shows. I can't show up. How am I going to do things digitally? How am I going to engage people that I can't see face to face? And I think, I hate to say one of the good things about COVID, because there's nothing good about COVID, is that people have gotten very creative and very They're starting to get very good at making sure their presence of mind, they're in people's thought train. When travel opens up, you want to be in their train of thought. You want to be considered, and we can help with that. So we looked at a number of competitive products. Virtual event wise, there's a number. They're very expensive. One thing about our product is once you buy the subscription, nothing goes away. So if you've created a version that might be relevant in the future, you can go back and pull that off the shelf, dust it off, change a few things up, and lickety split, you're out the door with a new campaign. So we just started to look across the spectrum of things we come up against and we could displace. There's do-it-yourself website builders. They are what they are. They're do-it-yourself website builders. And that's all they do. They don't really have in-depth analytics, certainly not by name, but they do allow you to see what the traffic to your website's doing. But how do you get traffic to your website? And that's kind of one of the unique features, is we can help drive the traffic. And then there's website builders that you would really have to engage somebody to do it for you. Well, we can do it for you with ours, or you can do it yourself. So we kind of cross two lanes in that freeway. And then you get out in kind of the email blasting world. Everyone kind of is probably familiar with the usual suspects. And then there's some new ones kind of coming to the fore, because there's a real bait and switch going on. You can see here that all of these are variable pricing. So you get in there, you think you're paying one price. Next thing you know, you're paying twice that or three times that, based on usage and size of audience. And we decided, we called it Winstorm for a good reason. We want to help people win more business. And the other thing that we put a lot of time and effort in is we work with our customers. We're small enough that when the phone rings, when an email comes in, our help people are available to actually go in on foot and help. So there's a lot of apples to apples here. The ones I've highlighted in green are the things that we think that kind of separate us or help us stand out. When it comes to the email blasting, we've really allowed people to just use it. Use it to grow your business. Use it to make more money. Use it to get your story across. And then, as I mentioned, since COVID hit, we've been doing a lot of virtual events. And in the virtual event space, there's just everyone's kind of deer in the headlights on this. And we've been fortunate that we were able to kind of take the platform with a small pivot. Added some new form work in, so people can really make the engagement piece more personalized, and with that they're able to reach out. So when I say the engagement piece, this contact form here will go to, I think it's Melissa in this case, but it's a way to actually start a conversation with us or with whomever, and hopefully get that conversation moving in a direction that will turn into business. And there's our contest. So if you're interested in filling this out, once we send it to you after the conference, we'll send it to Lisa, and I'm sure she'll forward it on. We're going to give away a year's use of Winstorm and a setup and the training that goes with it. Why not? It's a good idea. So really, that's kind of we've burned up the 45 minutes that we wanted, and then leave a little bit of time for Q&A. Oh wait, we should go back and see what Melissa has actually put together on the page for Martine. So
I did get some. I got some done. And what took me the longest on this was scraping the assets off of the web. So going and gathering the pictures and this sort of thing, the actual build took me, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe. Once I had the assets uploaded. Cool. So this would be an example of something that you would send out. Of course, you'd want to pretty it up. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of time to do it. That you would send out for, say, March break. Yeah. Through your email campaign. So Mike, if you want to just explain that a little bit more.
Yeah, so when you send these out, it's going to come into your inbox. I think I sent one to myself just before we started here. It's going to come in as an email, and the email is going to say something that you think is enticing, so they'll click through. And then when they click through, you're going to go to that website that we've been looking at throughout the presentation. And the minute you click through, but if it's sent by email, we're now able to capture detailed behavior of the person who came in and looked and clicked on the different sections. I noticed under the Summerfest or the Winterfest there that there's actually the ability to, well, we can add video. So I think I'll just do that right now. I'll just go in and pop in a video. I do believe I have one open here. Yeah, there it is. That's the Winterfest one. So if I come back into the editor, I can go to the upper Clemis. And what I'll do is I'll just, I think I'll just pop that in, move this guy up ahead a bit. And I can pop that video right into here. So you're using the assets that already exist. And there's lots, as you well know, lots of assets out there. And as quickly as this, I can then go in. And this is all part of the training. We have a very in-depth help portal, but this is all about going and trying to use assets, tourism assets, all kinds of assets, map assets. And now if we go in and look at what we just did, you'll see in the last section here, we just added a video. So it's simple enough that you can use it fast and you can make it personalized. And then you can track and measure how did it work? What was the efficacy of what we just created? So I think that'll be about it for now. And why don't we take a minute and see if there's any questions? Yeah, by all means, let's see if we can answer your questions.
So feel free to put them in the chat, or you can use the Q&A feature, either way.
Yeah, Jennifer has mentioned that, yes, the Tourism of Nova Scotia is involved with the Digital Nova Scotia program. And that's how we've gotten a number of clients out of that program. You know, it's modest. I mean, God bless them. It's free money if you can get registered and get accepted. And then they shop it out to different shops like us. And those shops can then select who they want to work with. So we've fledged about a dozen companies in the last 6-9 months, help them set up, get their things together, and get out and start generating their own buzz. Any other questions?
I saw a raised hand there, and unfortunately, the way that this is set up, we don't have the ability to let you speak. So if you can put it in the chat, that would be fantastic. And as I had said, we will, and Mike said, we will be sending this out afterwards, and you can use the contact form to contact us if you think of something later, or if you just want to have a chat. I see it. Q&A here.
So one of the questions is it better to put a link so that in the Winterfest, or actually embed the video? So if you put a link in, you've now sent them off to YouTube. And if you send them off to YouTube, they're going to get tangled up in what all of YouTube's glory. So we're a big fan of taking assets from other places. You can embed almost anything now. And so if you actually embed this in here, you keep them in your experience, you keep them in your story, and they don't go off and see videos about kittens or worse. And there's continuity. There's continuity, and they can stay with you rather than have to open other tabs and go to different places.
It's definitely a good idea. Keep them on your website. As opposed to driving them off somewhere else. You don't want to lose their attention. It seems that, I don't think that we all had huge attention spans to begin with, but it seems like it's a lot less these days.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Any other questions?
Well, great. Thank you very much for your time. Oh, we got one. Oh, we have a question.
I don't believe that it does make your website too busy. It's all about what kind of content that you're trying to put forward. So you can have, if this was your main website, then no, I probably wouldn't have the scrolling pictures next to a video. I would probably have your carousel on your welcome page. or have things down further. There's so many different ways to lay this out. It's all about what your message is. And that's something that we also help train you on as well. So how we connect to your website, we can connect to your website, or you can house your entire website on our platform. So we do have some clients who already have a website that they have paid for, that they're in a contract with for another year. And what we do is we create them a really sharp, nice landing page. And they use that to send out through their email campaigns. And then what we can do is anything that they click on will drive them to their current website that they're still having to pay for. So it's definitely doable. It's not that difficult to do. And again, something that we can definitely train you on, or we can do for you or with you, or however you want to have it happen.
So one question we have here, how does Winstorm connect to websites? So there's two ways to do that. You can actually make a section, a hard link to your website, or you can actually make anything on the page a link to your website. And if someone hits it, you're going to know that they came. If you've tagged it right, it's going to that they came from your website to Winstorm, or from Winstorm to your website. So we're not about displacing your website. If you've already got one, stay with it and live long and prosper. But if you do want to consolidate it, like one of our clients right now is CBDC Blue Water, and it's there. If you look at it, if you look them up, you'll see that their website is quite nice, and it's done in Winstorm. But the gentleman in charge of their marketing, he also then takes it and makes the first section of his newsletter. So he clones his website, creates a new first section, and calls that makes that his newsletter. And then he pushes the whole thing out. It's a different copy, but he pushes the whole thing out as a newsletter. So if somebody gets it and is interested in the news, they don't have to go to another site. They can actually consume the entire website on this mission, and all the while it's being tracked. So when you just send it by email, and somebody looks at that newsletter page and then goes into other sections, well, he's going to know it, and you're giving them what they need, because it's your website. It's your website on a mission. So that's kind of a neat use case. And his name is Noah, and he's having a good time with it. And we're talking to other CBDCs to help them. I mean, basically help their customers be more successful in their business. And we also have another initiative, which is more about manufacturing, called Shop It Canada, in conjunction with the federal government. And that's it's going to be a marketing site built in our platform to help Canadian exporters get the word out around the world about their high quality products. So it's kind of another neat use case for the same platform that small businesses are using for their website, for email campaigns, for all sorts of outreach and engagement.
So any last questions?
Yeah, so if you don't want to get a hold of us, this contact page will go to Melissa, and I will get a copy of it as well. If you fill it out, we'll enter you in the draw, and we figure we'll send the whole thing out, the whole presentation out, and then give you a couple of days to kind of think about it, and then we'll offer up a free use of the product for a year. And one more question from Jennifer. Can businesses get a custom URL? But yes, of course, a custom URL. If you can mask Winstorm to any URL you want. So a lot of customers, we do work with big clients like the state of Pennsylvania, but they mask us out. In Pennsylvania, when people get a Winstorm, it's actually called PAcast. And if you look at the kayak people, their website is Winstorm, but it's masked to their URL, to the URL of their choice.
And that's not something that, unlike a lot of the other platforms, you have to pay extra for that masking. It's all part and parcel of what we do. It's not something we're going to charge you extra for.
Yeah. And it's the elephant in the room is probably, well, what does it cost? And for a small entrepreneur, for the whole product and with training and setup, it starts kind of at $2,500 with the actual subscription being $1,250. So it's we basically will help you set it up, brand it, and then train you how to use it and help you add the content, get out the gate and running. It gets a little more expensive just on volume of time and effort, and also the number of users. We just signed up a Nova Scotia manufacturing company, and they want 4 licenses. Why? Because they have the owner and 3 salespeople. So he wants the salespeople to use it and be able to do outreach and engagement. And he also wants to know, he also wants to know what they're doing. So it's a way of doing that as well, as keeping track of who's interested and what they're interested in. Good. Well, thank you all. Thank you for taking the time. I know everyone's busy and getting ready for the spring and the big tourism season. Yeah, ready for another weekend storm. Gotta love it. Gotta love those weekend storms. And if you do have any questions, by all means, reach out to us. We're very responsive. And thanks again for taking the time to learn more about Winstorm and where we've kind of fit in the whole digital engagement ecosystem. All the best.
Everybody take care. Thank you so much.
Bye now.